It is my total joy to introduce to you Erica Wheeler, who will be supporting our tone setting for this morning. For those of you that may not know Erica, she is an award-winning singer-songwriter with 6 CDs to her credit. She is just back from training the staff at Yosemite National Park in her soulful sense of place process, as well as working with the Sonoma Land Trust. She's on her way to work with students at Walden Pond, but we are lucky to have her this week with us at the summit. Erica is a sense of place artist, advocate, and educator based in Western Massachusetts. She combines her passions for place, nature, culture, and history with the arts to inspire a sense of place and belonging that is deeply needed in the world today. Her work helps people slow down and tap into their senses, offering us ways to rediscover what roots in us in place and what really matters in our lives. It is with respect and joy, and I hope you join me in giving a warm welcome to Erica Wheeler.
Thank you, and good morning. It's so fun to be here. I live in Coleraine, Massachusetts. We have the same weather as you guys because we're a higher elevation, just about 45 minutes that way. But I go to events and conferences all over the country, and usually they're in a place, but we're so busy networking and connecting and in spaces that we don't get to connect with the place as much. And so my intention with doing this little short segment this morning is to just sort of ground us in this place and this time. So we're in Brattleboro, and we're here with the steep mountains and where the Connecticut River comes through and the West River meets. This land here has been occupied for at least 10,000 years. Native Americans lived here. There's petroglyphs on the rocks out on the river. I haven't seen them, but I've heard about them. Some of them are underwater, but they're there. There's thunderbirds and wolves and spirit beings that are carved in the rocks. And this town, Brattleboro, was first one of the line of forts that the Massachusetts Bay Colony created in 1724 to serve as a line of the French and Indian alliances that were sort of jockeying for position with the British who were moving up, and the French Indians that were jockeying for position there. And so in Coleraine, where I live, there was also some of these forts, and we've learned a lot about those because it was our 250th anniversary last year. So my partner and I were reading a lot about them. It's really fascinating to think about this as a frontier. Just, 1724, that was only 290 years ago. A lot has happened since then. So I just want to bring in all the people who have loved these hills. There's a quote by a Mohican poet, Karine Wood, and this poem called Homeland. It starts out and it says, "Nothing here was discovered. Everything was already loved." And so I love that quote. And so I want to bring in the Sakoki bands of the Abenaki that lived here, and then all the settlers that came, and the French. As I was researching Brattleboro, I was amazed. I've lived in this area for 30 years, but I never thought about Vermont and what it meant, the word. But they said, Vermont, it was the French, and it was green, vert, and mont, mountain. So the Green Mountain State, Vermont. I learned something new. And so the French, and then the English, and then all the people that came and worked in the factories and the mills. We had a lot of mills because of the Whetstone River and the big waterfalls and water power. And I read about the Oregon company that was here that was world-renowned and employed hundreds of people. And it's a crossroads of transportation and railroads and it's a crossroads with the rivers. One time the rivers were the only roads. It's a crossroads of ideas, and I love how it's such a city, you know, it's a compact, old city, and it's just a beautiful place to be. So I'm going to sing the song dedicated to the hills and all of us here at the crossroads, and it's called Quiet Hills. It's by Claudia Schmidt. There is a darkness in these hills, I am not afraid. There is a darkness in these hills, I am not afraid. And there is a darkness in these hills, though some may tremble, I am still. No, I say, hope lives in these quiet hills. And there is a darkness in the land, I seek the taste of hope. Yeah, there is a darkness in the land, I seek the taste of hope. And there is a darkness in the land with more sorrow than we can stand. But I say, hope lives in these quiet hills. And there is a darkness in my heart, the taste of hope is sweet. Yeah, there is a darkness in my heart, the taste of hope, it's sweet. And there is a darkness in my heart, but I can feel the healing start. 'Cause I say hope lives in these quiet hills. Yeah, hope lives in these quiet hills. Hope lives in these quiet hills. Thank you so much. And it does, and continues to. So as I was thinking about this summit and slow living, I was reminded of some passages in this book by David Abrams, The Spell of the Sensuous, where he talks about song and the pace of life. And if some of you aren't familiar with this book, it's a wonderful accompaniment to all of what we're learning here. But he talks about Gary Snyder, the poet and author, who in 1981 traveled to Australia. And he was sitting in the back of a pickup truck with an Aboriginal man named Jimmy. And Jimmy was reciting what he was seeing. They were traveling through the desert. And he was speaking very, very, very fast. And what is true is that he was reciting everything that they were going by, and he was used to going by life at 4 miles an hour, and they were traveling at 25 miles an hour. Woo! And so these poems, these mnemonic devices, these stories of the land, were how he knew where he was and who he was. And so, you know, it just made me think of life in the fast lane. I'm not going to sing that song, but but we all go, through life at a 70-mile-an-hour pace, and just think about that. So he also referenced Bruce Chatwin and the book Songlines, where he was also with another person who was singing this song very, very fast, and it was the cat lines. They were walking where the cats go, and he was saying, okay, so there's that mountain, and there's that tree, and there's that river, and there's that, and that's how he knew his way. And when the driver slowed down to the pace of a walk, it became very melodic and beautiful and harmonious and soothing. And so I just think that's a good image. I know I just want to say I'm very honored and grateful to be here, and honored that they chose to have some music. A lot of events, they'll say, we don't have time for music. And so the Slow Living had 10 minutes, and I really I think that's great. And when I looked at the schedule of events, I thought I would really love to participate in the one with Judy and Francis, because I know their work, and they are inspiring, pioneering, luminescent luminaries in the whole movement of food and farm and finance. And I wanted to sing this song, which is about someone who might have sold their farm and regretted it. It's about Hadley, Massachusetts, which is near where I live. And my point being that I think places have a song, they have a music. Every place has a song and a music. Every person has a song. every day, every moment. So I was driving along the river road there. It was this beautiful summer day, and the swallows were flying, and I was just in that zone, the music of the day, the music of the road. And then, boom, there was this brand new housing development. And it was just kind of jarring. It didn't quite fit in, and it changed the music. And it started this song in my head, and I want to tell you my process, which was, at first it was kind of an anthemic anti-Walmart song, and it was like, we will stop the, it was very preachy, and it felt good. 2 more minutes? Oh, Laurie says 2 more minutes, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna sing the song now. I have a sing-along that you're really gonna wanna do, but we have to create time for that after this. So the swallows and the roads, and yes, it was jarring, and I discovered land trusts and how they support alternatives for selling off the family farm. And this song is dedicated to all the people that do provide alternatives to that situation. And I will also have my little cart, and I will also be peddling CDs out in the lobby. And if you want to hear more from me, that's a good format to do that in. So I'll be here for the whole weekend, for the whole week, and I'm doing my workshop at 3:15 or 3:45 in the afternoon. So come. Well, down comes a falling, a soft summer rain. It falls on the cornfields of this river floodplain. It falls on the green hills and the roadside stands, where you pay leaving money in an old coffee can. There's a broken gas pumps and the barn falling down. There's a swimming hole where the river's fatting around. And that farm, it still haunts me, just like it's calling out my name. And don't it seem like a waste of good summer rain? There's more people moving in, and they all need a home. They put up stores and houses in the fields that I had known, on the richest soil you're ever gonna find. Traffic backs up now most all the time. Your children won't know it the way I did, up the river road, how I used to live. And that farm, it still haunts me, just like it's calling out my name. Don't it seem like a waste of good summer rain? It's almost time for second planting. I can feel it in the air. Oh, I wish I'd never sold that place. Now there's just asphalt everywhere. The music, how I heard it ring through the fields and farms, the way life's always been. And that farm, it still haunts me, just like it's calling out my name. Don't it seem like a waste of good summer rain? It don't seem like a waste of good summer rain. Thank you so much. See more.